What we're watching right now is not just some cute little run by the Dallas Cowboys. No, sir. They didn't just beat the Eagles and the Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions and the defending AFC champions. They survived early punches. They adjusted on the fly, and then they took over the game. A month ago, this team was searching for answers, but today they have an identity. It's loud, it's confident, and it's inevitable when you really think about it. The defense, it's bending, but it's no longer breaking. The offense is not panicking. They're evolving throughout the game. So I want to talk about why this run is real and how they flipped the script. And the league better wake up. Better yet, keep sleeping. This Cowboys defense is doing three things that I think changes how you look at them, changes the lens, if you will. And I want to talk about all three of them. Number one, they are finally stopping the bleeding. And what I mean by that, earlier in the year when teams got momentum early in the game, it just snowballed, right? It was a snowball effect. And that's where you would see some of these teams scoring 30, 40 points on the Dallas Cowboys, or running for 200 yards or 150 plus yards on the Dallas Cowboys. The last 2 weeks, however, after starting off very slow, giving up 5 straight scoring drives, 3 right to the Eagles, and then 2 to the Kansas City Chiefs, that stopped. They settled, they adjusted, and they closed the door on the opposing offenses just constantly going down the field and getting points, touchdowns, that is, right? After 3 straight scoring drives for the Eagles a couple weeks ago, 8 straight stops. After 2 straight touchdown drives by the Kansas City Chiefs, 4 straight stops. And I think that is where the games are going to be won for the Cowboys moving forward. That's the entire difference. You don't have to be perfect. This defense won't be. It won't be a Texans type of defense, a 2000 Ravens type of defense. But what you need to do is give your offense an opportunity. More opportunities means likely more points for the Dallas Cowboys, because this offense is amazing. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But you go look at this Chiefs game specifically. Matt Eberflus is not doing the same things he was doing earlier in the season, meaning 97 or 95+% zone coverage was a little crazy, if we're being honest. No matter what the personnel is, it made things a lot easier for opposing teams, especially when you don't have a pass rush, to just sit back there and find a guy open or take off and get what you can get if you're a mobile quarterback. But in this Chiefs game specifically, there was a lot more hybrid type of coverages and man coverages. They did 56% zone, but 44% man/hybrid combo coverages. And those disguises forced Patrick Mahomes to diagnose what was happening post-snap, not just pre, and to hold the rock just a little bit longer and sometimes play that sandlot ball. And look, he had success. That's what happens. He's Patrick Mahomes, but there wasn't success all game. And again, that's something that we had not seen earlier in the season, where teams are kind of just doing what they wanted to do at will for a majority of the game. So the result with that happening was Kansas City stopped getting those freebies. You start making them earn it. And they scored 2 touchdowns on 4th down. So even though they were touchdowns, the Cowboys made them earn every single yard and every single point after those first 2 possessions. This video is sponsored by our good friends over at Mint Mobile. All right, listen, if you're tired of your phone bill looking like a card note every month, it might be time to switch things up. Mint Mobile reimagined the wireless game. No stores, no salespeople, none of that. Everything's easy and online. You still get premium wireless without the premium price tag, with unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. I'm sure you've heard that, but they really mean it. They even throw in free calling to Mexico, Canada, the UK, plus hotspots included, and 10 gigabytes on the unlimited plan. The best part, you're in control. Mint lets you choose your data between 5, 15, 20 gigabytes or unlimited. And they've got this bulk savings set up where the more months you grab up front, 3, 6, or 12, the more you save. And right now you can unlock Mint's lowest price of the year. Pay $15 a month for an unlimited premium plan across 3, 6, or 12-month options. That's 50% off of premium wireless, all backed by the nation's largest 5G network. So if your carrier is out here taxing you like Uncle Sam, go to mintmobile.com and keep that money where it belongs, in your pockets. And you can also just see that personnel just pop right on film from the last month of the season with Overshown returning. You see the speed. We've talked about it before, the trigger, the burst. It is there, ladies and gentlemen. He hasn't made the game swinging plays just yet, but don't you worry. I believe that is coming throughout this season. He's just got back from obviously his ACL injury. Savon Ravel, he just looks like he's going to be a problem, a cornerback one, specifically in man coverage. I would love if they utilize him more in that role, and they did, to be honest. In this game, he played the most snaps of all the corners, 95% of the time he was out there. You just see a lot with him. You see the patience in his game. You see he's a natural man guy. You see in phase, he can be a problem to length. There is real upside with Savon Ravel. I think he can be your cornerback one of the future. And then, of course, Quinnen freaking Williams, the tone setter, the leader, violent, disruptive. He's unblockable really in all phases of the game if you're going to go one-on-one with this dude. There's plays throughout this game where he's just literally shutting down and disrupting what the Chiefs want to do by his damn self. He has changed the math up front, ladies and gentlemen, every single snap. And obviously, Matt Eberflus has also done that with the 5-man fronts. When they do that, you can't double anyone. It's one-on-one blocks across the board. But when the Cowboys do go traditional 4-man and he's out there, you are now starting to see some of these guys take advantage of those one-on-ones. And that's something that I love about Quinnen. They asked him, hey, why are you having so much success? And he immediately said, hey, man, everybody else. Everybody else is stepping up around me, and I'm being put in position to succeed from my coaches, man. Just a real leader of men here, as well as being an elite player an elite player both ways when you think about it. But here's where I think the biggest shift in having Quinnen Williams, and maybe the biggest difference in this defense, is teams can no longer bully the Cowboys on the ground. They can't. And when you go look at the season prior to Quinnen Williams arriving, running backs were just having their way. Let's just be honest. They were averaging almost 6 yards per carry. 6 yards per carry against the Cowboys prior to Quinnen Williams' arrival. Since Quinnen Williams got here, 2.8 yards per carry on the ground for running backs. That's not just an improvement. That's not some blip on the radar. That is real. That is tangible. You see it, you feel it, and you see teams, okay, yeah, maybe you'll have a series. Maybe you'll have a quarter where you run the ball well or decent. But you're not going to have 4 quarters. You're not going to have a full game. You're not going to have a full half, if you will. You can't just line up and say we're going to bully the Dallas Cowboys anymore. And for a defense that has a philosophy of, hey, we want to put as many players in coverage as possible. We're going to play light boxes. We're going to play 4-man or 5-man fronts with 1 linebacker. You have to be able to stop the run with 6 guys in the box. And when you do that, your coverage menu now expands, right? You can do more things on the back end. You can have combo coverages, and the defense can win ball games later in the game, as we're seeing here over the last few weeks. So it goes back to what I was saying, man. This defense does not have to be some legendary defense. It just has to be respectable. It just has to buy enough time for the Cowboys offense to kick it in gear, because this Cowboys offense, to me, is the most dangerous offense in the National Football League. Let's talk about why. Real quick, I know all of you watching the video today have some knowledge of football, and I think you should be able to utilize that knowledge to make a little money. And that's what the Sleeper app does for you, man. You can download the app, get 100% match up to $100 by using the promo code STEELE, STEELE. And you also get a free $20 entry, no deposit needed, and you still get the 100% match. Before we get back to the video, let me give you my picks for Monday Night Football today. You got the Giants, you got the Patriots. Lopsided matchup. Should be able to make some good money today. So Jackson Dart, more or less 207.5 yards. I'm going less. The Patriots defense is for real. Dart hasn't played in a while, and this is a really, really tough matchup for him to go against. More or less 47.5 receiving yards for Diggs. Give me more. I feel like the number one target for Drake May should easily get you 50 or more yards, man. Come on. More. Easy. Travion Henderson. This kid has been a touchdown machine over the last 3 weeks with 5 touchdowns in total. Anytime touchdown score for Travion Henderson, smash the more and make some money. Head on over to the Sleeper app, download it, get 100% match up to $100 using my promo code STEELE, STEELE. Let's get back to the video. The reason why it's so important for this defense to manufacture stops, get the ball back to the Cowboys offense, or just flat out give it some time, is because I don't think there is a defense moving forward that's going to be able to stop this Dallas Cowboys offense for 4 quarters. Earlier in the year, you saw some times where Denver Broncos, the Chicago Bears, there were times where defenses kind of had Shoddy's number and Dak's number, and it was a little too late when they started to get things going. I don't think you've seen it consistently throughout the year, but you saw some teams that kind of figured out some stuff. In this game against the Chiefs, you went up against that style of defense, right? We're going to show 6 the line. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to come after you, and we're going to make you have to make quick decisions and make Dak Prescott have to kind of move around. And he did that very, very well. But also, I feel like Shoddy and Clayton Adams and, of course, Dak Prescott also learned from playing those types, and they've evolved. And I've said this before, and I continue to say it. Brian Schottenheimer, Clayton Adams are up there with the best of the best in 2025 when it comes to conceptually, when it comes to the scheme, when it comes to the game plan. These guys have been so damn good. Now, do they have to clean up some things inside the 5-yard line, specifically when it comes to the red zone? Absolutely. I think they are fixable, and I think that's one of the warts that many of offensive coordinators have, right? There is one thing, maybe 2, that they have to get better at in general. But that aside, these 2, and then Dak being the orchestrator of this thing, the maestro, if you will, the point guard, it has been a beautiful thing to watch. I don't think the Cowboys no longer have to worry about coaching not putting guys in the best position to succeed. We've talked about that for so many years, but Dak and Shoddy right now are an elite quarterback play caller duo in this league. And then you have the run game, which is so complementary to those guys. And it's so efficient, led by Javonte Williams, of course, who I think summarizes what they want to be in the run game. They want to be downhill. They want to be physical. They want to punch you in the mouth. And I think the offensive line is matching that energy and punching people in the mouth. But I also want to give a shout out to Malik Davis. All year, I've been talking about needing that number 2 guy that's kind of a complement to what Javonte is, and also can do things that, let's be real, Javonte, that's not his game, right? Being the lightning. And yes, we've seen Javonte Williams hit some of these long runs, but you haven't seen Javonte Williams go 43 yards for a touchdown, right? And get shot out of a cannon. Shouts out to the play call. Shouts out to the design. It was great. But you saw Malik Davis get skinny. You saw it blocked up great, and then he hit another gear for the 43-yard touchdown. So, look, Malik Davis, I think, has secured that number 2 role with that type of play. But we've seen him kind of be that shifty guy in years past. He's finally getting his shot. And I think if he can continue to be the 2 behind Javonte Williams, touch the rock 6 to 10 times a game, you can expect to hit a big play or at least a positive play with him, because he has that complementary style to Javonte. And then, of course, you have the best wide receiver duo in football, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb bounces back. Had Trent McDuffie, who was an all-pro cornerback, and an absolute blender. He had over 100 yards on Trent McDuffie. Guy's too little for him. It is what it is. George Pickens continues to be Kryptonian-like, right? He's not from here. He just continues to do things that you see from a wide receiver one, but in this offense, there's two wide receiver ones. You can't stop both of these wide receivers for 4 quarters. You cannot stop this pass game or this offense for 4 quarters. Shotty has taken scheme and talent and said, let me introduce you to each other. That is something that we have been asking for so long here in Dallas. He's manufacturing advantages. He's stacking, got the motion, you got the leverage. There's ISO matchups. He's doing things on film that teams are going to have a difficult time or are having a difficult time preparing for, because you just have 2 demons on the outside, a run game that complements you, and a quarterback that's dialing it up. Let's take a look at a play that really shows exactly what I'm getting at when it comes to Shotty putting guys in position to succeed. Just under 9 minutes left in the 4th quarter. The Cowboys are backed up inside their own 10, nursing a 7-point lead. And this is where most coordinators would get a bit conservative, but not Shotty. He went for the throat. 1st and 10, Dallas comes out in 21 personnel, 2 wide receivers, 2 backs, 1 tight end. Kansas City responds by staying light in a 2-high shell. Schoonmaker shifts into a wide motion outside of Pickens, which forces the Chiefs to bump the coverage, and suddenly you get linebacker Leo Chenal matched up in man on George Pickens. Now, they do have a safety shading over the top, but already that is a nightmare matchup for the Chiefs. Play side, Kansas City decides to send Trent McDuffie as a blitzer, replacing him with a safety. So now you've got CeeDee Lamb one-on-one with the safety on the outside. Same play, 2 mismatches, you can't cover both. Pickens runs a deep over and Lamb runs a go route. And because the safety has to honor George Pickens, the deep third is empty. Now all Dak needs is time. Dak gets it by a half a second. He hangs in there and he stands tall, delivering a 51-yard strike to CeeDee Lamb. That's a great design. That's trust. And that's big boy football deep in your own territory with the game on the line. You know, it feels good to be a modern offense, but it also feels good to see a team learn how to take a punch, how to make adjustments, how to finish games like contenders and not the pretenders that we had seen in years past for the Cowboys. The offense is explosive. The defense is starting to stabilize. The stars are shining in Dallas. The depth is maturing, really. So if this is the version of the Cowboys that we're going to get moving forward, you better buckle up, man, because things just got real. And let me say this, because I know there are a lot of scenarios and rooting guides and this and that. One game at a time. The Cowboys just have to handle their business and the chips will fall where they may. One game at a time.